Hello, everybody. Welcome to MAWS Talks Wrestling. We are your hosts. I am LunaKage,
What's up, everyone? It's Glenburg.
and we have, this is our post Extreme Rules.
Extreme.
Right, this is our post Extreme Rules episode here. So I guess we can get right into it.
Yeah.
What did you think of the pay per view?
It was honestly better than I expected.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I felt too. Like, I'm not gonna give it like a 5.19 star rating or anything, but it was good. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, like, if I were to give something like the most unexpected good match award of the night, I'd probably give it to Bryan versus Kane
That
because
that was that was definitely a extreme match, and I like the innovation they
yeah,
added.
I mean, like, I didn't expect it to be that good. I didn't expect it to main event, and I said that last week,
Mhm.
and it did, and
Mhm.
caught me by surprise. I know some people would say that the WLC match would have been an unexpected good match, but I didn't. I expected it to be a good match.
It was
You
it was
know,
a good opener.
yeah, it was fun. That, like, basically they got everybody involved. Like, I think everybody went through a table at some point.
I like the miniature ladders, just like we were talking about last week. How
Yeah,
they would get the miniature ladders and
yeah,
tables.
yeah, pretty much. Had little chairs too. Yeah, so we had the WLC match. That was pretty good. El Torito
Yes.
won, like I figured. Oh yeah, and by the way, all of my predictions came true.
For
I,
first, for
yeah,
first,
yeah, every single prediction I made came true. The only thing I got wrong, like, in general, was who was going to eat the pin in the Evolution versus Shield match. I thought for sure it was going to be Randy Orton, but it ended up being Batista. But either way, I mean, the Shield won that, and that's what I
Yeah.
expected.
I love that match. I like that now. Extreme Rules is to the point where it doesn't feel like it's the shadow of ECW One Night Stand. It actually is its own thing now.
Well, what I was thinking during the two main matches, I guess you could say, the Shield versus Evolution and uh, Daniel Bryan versus Kane, was that
Right.
they had a very Attitude Era feel to them.
They did. Yeah.
And what I mean by that is they did things that they don't really do that often anymore, that they used to do pretty much every single main event match in the Attitude Era.
Uh huh.
In the Shield versus Evolution match, you had people brawling in the stands and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they were taking it into the crowd, like deep into the crowd. You don't normally, like, sometimes you'll see people go into the crowd a little bit and then they'll come back out almost immediately. But this time, they were deep in there. They got into one of the exits, I think, of the
Uh huh.
main arena area, and we had Seth Rollins take that huge jump off of that balcony, I guess you could call it,
Right.
onto Randy Orton, Triple H, and Dean Ambrose. Like, they all just kind of took the brunt of that one there.
Mm.
And then back in the ring, you had Roman Reigns and Batista. And what I thought was really funny is that during the entire time, the other four guys were brawling on the outside into the audience and stuff.
Right.
These two guys were just selling. They were just lying there, trying to, like. I'm like, damn, there's no way they would be down for that long. Like, come on. And they were down for a good, like, 5 minutes, what it felt like, at least.
Yeah.
And
That reminds me when wrestlers are stuck on the outside during like a battle royal and they disappear for like 10 minutes.
yeah, and
Yeah.
what I found interesting about that is that this finish wasn't a instant kind of thing. Like, especially with the spear being his finisher, you could
Right.
see that being, like, come from behind spear and him getting the win, but it was really simple. They both got to their feet. Roman Reigns hit the Superman punch, set up for the spear, and then he landed the spear and won. It was definitely not something I expected. I expected at least Batista to reverse the spear maybe into his spear, his terrible ass spear.
Right.
But
Where his feet go sideways or whatever.
right. But it was a very good match. Roman Reigns ended up beating Batista, so the Shield took the victory.
Yeah, you notice the Superman punch, it looks cleaner now whenever he connects it. Like, it does that little smack sound now.
My big problem with the Superman punch isn't the move. It's the fact that his clothesline looks exactly the fucking same as it. Like, especially if you're like me and you have to watch the streams in order to see Raw and shit, the really shitty quality streams. It looks just like he does the same thing. He jumps up, he flails his arms like crazy, and then one of them connects. It's just that one of them is a punch, that's the Superman punch, and the other one is a clothesline.
That's the mix-up.
Yeah, it is. It's like I'm glad the announcers know the difference because I can't fucking tell the difference.
Yeah, they have good eyes. Yeah.
But yeah, there's actually been a lot of people kind of complaining about Roman Reigns being the breakout star, because they say every singles match he's been in has kind of been not that great, and that might be true. But Roman Reigns, for one, he's still young. Two, he's fucking Samoan, so
yeah.
I mean, I'm not worried at all. He might start off, kind of lackluster, but once he gets more singles experience, he's gonna fucking shoot right up. I can definitely see him being as good in the ring as The Rock, if not better. And he's already got hype building moves like the Superman punch, the apron drop kick, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, like that was tight at the pay-per-view when he ducked under I forgot who it was, but he ducked under them and then did the drop kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So really, the only thing he's missing to be a main event star right now is a sequence. Every main eventer has one where they hit a couple of big moves, hit one or two of their signatures in a row, and then they'll set up for their finisher. Like John Cena, his 5 moves of doom sequence. STF optional, basically.
Yes.
Running shoulder, diving shoulder block, fucking duck the clothesline. A very bad excuse for a Blue Thunder Bomb. I guess he used to use that as his finisher way back in the day. He called it the Proto Bomb.
Proto Bomb, yeah, prototype.
Yeah. Then he'd do the 5-knuckle shuffle and then give him the attitude adjustment. And whether or not he decided to pin you or go for the STF, is up to him.
True.
CM Punk had one too, and that actually kind of brings me to something that I remember seeing when I think CM Punk was on his way to his heel turn. Like, I think this was after he fucked up The Rock on the 1000th episode. I can't exactly remember, but
I think it was the 1000th episode. Yeah, when he started.
That's when he started, but I mean, like, I think it was a little bit after that this happened. He was tagging with John Cena against a couple of guys. I can't even remember the guys he was tagging against, but in order to mock John Cena, he got in there and started doing his, John Cena's sequence. And, at some point he got interrupted by a blind tag from Cena, and then Cena came in and started doing CM Punk's sequence. Hit him into the ropes, do the, into the corner, do the running knee into the bulldog and stuff. And it was pretty funny. I enjoyed that little exchange there. But, that match was good. There's really not much else you could say about it. Like, it was a good match. Even Batista looked all right in that match. I mean, he may not have been that good coming back, but he's still shaking the rust off. He was never really that good of a performer, but you know, he was definitely when he came back, he was definitely less than we're used to seeing from him, and he was finally starting to get that back, and now he's gonna be gone. So again,
Yeah, right when he's trying to get used to it again.
right,
Yeah, that's like the equivalent of, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym this week. You get in the gym for a week and then you don't do it for like the rest of the
right.
month. Yeah.
And I actually have a theory about the next pay per view, but I guess we'll get into that when we get into Raw. Um,
Yeah. So
other
yeah.
other matches they had Tamina Snuka versus Paige. It was Paige won, just like I figured.
Yeah.
It wasn't that impressive, you know.
Paige dominated the match with skill, but Tamina obviously had the power.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the match wasn't that long. Um,
6 minutes.
I remember looking away and then looking back, and it was over already, and I'm like, damn, okay,
Yeah.
shit. Like
One-
I took an accidental piss break, and I wasn't even pissing. I looked away for a second, and it was over.
That's sad that you took it on accident because Divas matches are like bathroom breaks.
Yeah, I mean it's so weird. They've gotten me so used to not give a shit about the Divas matches now that it's hard to even when you got Paige in there, and I know Paige is good. She's shown me that she's good, but until you can put her in the ring with the other girls from NXT and actually give them the time. Like, I'm not asking you to give them like fucking a half hour or anything. I know that's never going to happen. But at least give them like 15 minutes. Like let's see Paige versus Emma again. Let's see that on the
Yeah.
main roster for the Divas title in like 15 minutes. That could be good. That could be great.
Yeah.
Especially after both of them have gotten over a little bit on the main roster, because both of them are good, and that Arrival match was good. It gave me hope for
That
the
wa-
future of.
that inspired me to like the future of Divas matches, like you said. Yeah.
But if I've said it before, these matches, it doesn't matter how good the two girls are, if you only give them 5-6 minutes, fucking including their intros, then they're not really gonna show us anything. The 6 minutes isn't enough time to properly build the match.
No, the pacing is all rushed too.
Yeah, it's just I can't get into it. Like you literally could have Lita and Trish Stratus in there, but if you give them 6 minutes, it's not gonna feel as good as it normally does when they have matches together. And that's what they really need. Like, build the Divas division, you gotta give them more time. You just gotta. And even then, even if you still want to market it as a piss break, 6 minutes is not enough time to go and get popcorn. It's not enough time to get yourself a sandwich. Really, if you like make really good sandwiches.
Right, like a big one.
Yeah. So that could be the incentive. Like maybe if you're a little worried about the girls like not giving their at least give them 15 minutes for the fact that 15 minutes is enough time for the people who don't give a shit to go and not only take a piss, but they could actually take a dump. 6 minutes is not enough time to take a proper dump.
And then come back like 10 minutes later. It's
Yeah.
a bunch of high spots if it was 15 minutes.
Right. I mean, and plus that would get people interested, because if you give the Divas 15 minutes, you'll go take a shit during the stuff that most people consider boring, like the build up, getting the heat and all that shit. And then by the time you come back, it'll be the last 3 minutes of the match, and then a bunch of shit's going on. You're like, damn, this is pretty good. And then you'll be like, maybe I'll actually stay and watch this Divas match next time.
Yeah, because essentially the people have to make a decision when they're going to get their nachos or
Right.
piss break, even if they're at a live event.
Yep.
You know.
And that's why we're never going to see a Divas match on the pre-show.
Uh,
Because
yeah.
I believe that's quite literally why they put the Divas on the main show, is to give us an actual piss break, and it kind of pisses me off. But I mean,
Yeah, because they're actually good. Like, one of the things I just wanted to comment on right quick, like, I like in the match with Paige and Tamina how she actually played the role of being a smaller superstar, so she was doing stuff like dodging out the way. while Tamina's like the giant.
She was doing
Yep.
stuff like dodging. Okay.
Uh,
She was doing stuff everyone else does.
well, damn it, you know what I mean. Like, well, she's the lighter of the two. Okay, think
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio messing around against Big Show or
Right.
some shit.
No, I got what you were saying. It was just funny how you said it. So she
Right.
was
I
doing
didn't know
stuff
how
the
to
smaller
word it.
superstars do, like throw punches and kicks. She,
She's doing cruiserweight stuff. Yeah.
she was doing the things the smaller superstars like to do, like go for pins and submissions. And
Wow. Okay. Yes. Get my wording together.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I guess we should move on to another match.
yeah, what else do we have on the card?
Cesaro.
Oh yeah, the three-way. I was actually completely correct about this one. Like sometimes I'll go in depth about what I think's going to go down. It was an elimination match. The first guy to get eliminated was Jack Swagger, and I fully expected that.
Mm-hmm.
Then apparently, even though they didn't do anything like this when it was still a three-way, after Cesaro got eliminated, they started taking triple threat rules into account, and they brought a trash can into the ring, because there's no disqualification in a triple threat match.
Right.
I just think it's funny that they start using those rules when it was no longer a triple threat match. So it felt kind of weird, but basically, if I'm not mistaken, did Van Dam hit a Van Daminator? I can't remember.
I think so.
It's possible that I just wanted him to so bad that I like imagined that he did it, but I can't remember exactly. I do know that that at one point Van Dam was getting ready to hit the 5-star frog splash, but he had the trash can set up on Cesaro.
Right.
But then Cesaro rolled out of the way and left the trash can there. So, Van Dam hit the trash can with the frog splash. But if you looked, he fucking hit the edge of that trash can with his face.
Yeah.
Like
that hurt like hell.
yeah, you can tell it hurt because he fucking started holding his eye like right away, and then the second Cesaro picked him up to give him the neutralizer, you could see that his eye was bleeding, so he got fucked up pretty good. So Cesaro hit the neutralizer onto the trash can and got the win. So all's good there. That was a pretty decent match too. Wasn't outstanding, but it had a couple of memorable moments like the ones I just mentioned. So that makes it better than a shittier match, I guess.
It's funny, right quick before we move on, so I think this is how WWE is gonna coin Extreme for their audience. It's kinda like it feels like vintage Attitude Era, rather than like ECW barbed wire,
Yeah.
put each other through scaffolds and shit. Yeah.
I mean, like I'd be fine with that. Like I don't really prefer the gore fests of ECW. I actually watched the very last ECW pay-per-view before they went out of business and got owned by WWE. It was Guilty as Charged 2001. And I gotta say, man, maybe it's because I just grew up on WWE too much, but it wasn't that good. Like,
It's like this. The shock value is like there when you first see it, but after you see somebody get put through a flaming table the 100th time or get hit with a barbed wire,
I don't even mean that. It's just like their main event guys didn't really seem to know how to. Or maybe it was just Sandman, because that's very possible. Well, two examples that I can think of right off the top of my head that just aggravated me a lot. It was a triple threat tag team match between the FBI, two guys that I have no fucking idea who they are.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even remember. And then it was Tajiri and Mikey Whipwreck. And the other two guys got eliminated first. Then you had FBI versus Tajiri and Mikey Whipwreck. And the match itself was fine. But Mikey Whipwreck, this motherfucker does not know how to sell other than either he's fine or he's about to die. Those are the only two ways he can sell. And normally that's fine, but there were 2 points where it was painfully obvious that he had no idea how to sell a submission. At one point, both of the full-blooded Italians got him in a leg bar, like each. Both of them had him in a leg bar. This motherfucker was just laying there. But you could see both of the FBI just fucking like going, like fucking wrenching on his legs, and his legs were split like apart. Like that's what it looked like. That's the camera angle they had. So that's gonna hurt. And this motherfucker's just lying there. Like he's lying there looking like he's unconscious. And the second they get off of him, he stands up. Then at another point, his finishing move is called the whippersnapper. It's a stone cold stunner. At one point, he gets one of the FBI on the top of the turnbuckle and is getting ready to go for his whippersnapper. But then the other guy comes up there in the exact same position, so he fights him off, and then he goes to give them both a whippersnapper, so off the top rope. So it's it's going to be a cool spot. But then they reverse it into a double Fujiwara armbar or whatever. So literally they slam him into the pavement, or not the pavement, but the fucking ring, and they're both again wrenching on his fucking arms, like both of them, and he's just fucking sitting there. He's just like he's unconscious, which I guess this time he very well could have been, since he just fucking got his head driven in from the top fucking rope. But then the second they get off of him, he stands up.
Nice selling, man.
Yeah, so that match kind of pissed me off because of that. Like
that would drive someone crazy.
Then you had the main. Well, I thought it was the main event because it was for the ECW title. It was a ladder match between the Sandman, Steve Corino, and Justin Credible. And I don't know if it was just Sandman. I'm pretty sure Corino did this too a couple times, but Sandman went through like 3 tables, and after every one of them, he just gets right the fuck up. He doesn't sit there to sell that it hurt. He's like, and then the crowd's chanting, holy shit, and then he just stands right the fuck up like nothing happened.
It's like playing the SmackDown games.
Yeah.
And the computer keeps getting up.
It's like, what the fuck? Like the only time I saw somebody sell a table is the finish of that match, when both Corino and Credible went through a single table, and then they just fucking laid there until Sandman fucking got the belt. And that's another thing too. Sandman climbed those ladders so fast that it didn't really. You could tell like he climbed one ladder so fast that he fell off of it. Like the ladder tipped over and fell down. Like he fucking climbed those things like he was trying to win it for real, And I guess that you want it to look real, but I mean every ladder match I've ever seen,
it's the slow climb. Like he's almost there. He's almost there to the belt.
Right. Yeah, but those particular instances are just the examples of things that pissed me off. But I mean the rest of the show was okay. It's not like it was terrible or anything, but just watching it just felt like the only thing it really had going for it was people being able to say fuck during promos. Like, I heard that a lot. Sexual references even more than fucking the Attitude Era had. Like, at one point there's like this big ass fucking 3-foot long thick sub, and one of the sluts dressed as a slut. I forget her name.
Wow.
She's sitting there like, oh, I don't think I could fit it all in my mouth, and fucking. So like, okay, all right, I understand. I know exactly what they were going for. That's fine.
Yeah, they tried to be different by being way, way over the top.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm probably gonna watch some more. Maybe I'll start getting it. But just watching that one, I was like kind of upset. I was like, oh man, like they're trying too hard I think. And, I mean, I guess I know where that got him.
Yeah.
Okay, we went off topic there a little bit, but,
uh, it was pretty funny though. Like someone get put through the table, get back up.
yeah,
Like no, not even selling it like Hulk Hogan or anything. Like.
right, just fucking, just got right the fuck back up.
But yeah, let's see what else went on at the Extreme Rules. Okay, so Alexander Rusev, handicap match, that match was only 2 minutes. What the hell?
Yep. Yep. See, it's funny because they didn't give anybody enough time to even take a piss during that match. And that was the
Yeah,
one that I really wanted to miss.
right. We actually sat there and listened to Lana come out and talk.
About the president of Russia.
That picture that they used for him looks so funny. I don't know why. It just stares at you like you'll see eyes come out and all of a sudden start moving.
Yeah. I mean, I understand they got to build the guy, but when are they going to give him matches against real people? He's been doing nothing but squashing people since he's been on NXT. I haven't seen him be. I haven't seen him in a real match ever.
Remember when they did that to Ryback for like the first few months of him showing up?
Oh, of course, and I hated it then too. Like,
Yeah,
so show me, like, put him in a match with somebody that is not gonna fucking go down easy. Like, give him a solid match so I can see what he does, so I can know whether or not I can like this guy. Because when I'm sitting here waiting for a build like that, and he's doing nothing but beating the same jobbers over and over again, like, he's not even beating different jobbers like fucking like Ryback was doing. He's beating the same guys over and over again. He was beating the same guys in NXT that he's beating now. He was
that's crazy.
he was doing nothing but fucking squashing Xavier Woods in NXT and the occasional Tyler Breeze. Oh, and Sin Cara. Oh, he squashed
Whoa.
Sin Cara, but who doesn't squash Sin Cara?
Yeah,
Then
make him look good for a few seconds and then they get squashed.
and then he comes to the main roster and he gets into a feud, I guess you can say, with fucking Xavier Woods again. And this time, guest starring R-Truth. So there's no quality to these matches. Obviously, they're squash matches. They're for nothing but to build credibility to the dominance of a star on the rise. And I guess as far as that goes, this was a 5-star match because they did exactly what they wanted to do. I mean, could you really dispute that? I mean, a squash match, what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to fucking build the credibility of a star. And this was the perfect squash match. So, fucking 5.5 stars.
It's silly when you think of it that way.
Right. I just want to see him in a real match so that I can know whether or not he's any good. Because they've made it apparent that he's not going to be the typical big man because he actually, is supposedly, this martial artist based in Muay Thai or something, and that's all well
My
and
tie.
good. But you're not showing me anything when you have him do nothing but, the same move to set up into the same stupid-ass finisher that nobody but the Iron Sheik and Scott Steiner should be doing.
Right.
How many times do I have to see a camel clutch? How many times do I
Yeah,
have to
that's the
see a
thing.
guy
He did.
willingly put his motherfucking arms hooking around a guy's leg when he could easily be like, no, I'm going to get out of this by just fucking not holding your legs. Yeah, I really hate that move, just in general. Not like even when Steiner used it, when Sheik used it, it's just a dumb submission move. I hate it. Just period.
Yeah, it's the same finish all the time too
Yeah.
when he beats jobbers.
Yeah.
Like we don't even know what else he can beat people with.
The Accolade, and they call it the Accolade, which, by the way, is the coolest fucking name. But they give it to a shitty move. The Accolade. How cool does that sound? Like, you could just...
It sounds like it's greatness.
Yeah, it sounds like it's perfect. And really, that should be whatever Curtis Axel is using as a finishing move. That should be called the Accolade. Because if you're better than perfect, your submission move, I mean, your finishing move should be called something that sounds better than perfect. The accolade, the legacy, the fucking, the pedigree.
The pedigree. Right.
The pedigree is a good example because it's a fancy word that means I'm better than you.
Mm-hmm. And face first to the mat.
Right.
I'm better than you.
So, okay, we had the squash match, 5.94 stars.
Woo!
Make that official. My official star rating for that match is 5.94 stars.
Yeah.
It didn't make a full 6-star because there was no nudity in it.
Aww.
Yeah.
Well, not that I would have wanted to see that.
Hey, Lana could get naked. That could be perfectly acceptable.
Rise with that bike. No.
The second that she says rise, we rise.
Right. That's what I was
We
thinking.
rise, but we don't stand up. I can tell you that. So what else do we have? We're already 30 minutes into this recording. We haven't even gotten to Raw yet. But we still got a couple more matches to talk about from Extreme Rules. Here we go.
The Intercontinental Championship match.
Exactly what I was thinking. It's awesome. Okay. This match was all right. I can't really say it was amazing or anything. It's not like it,
I like the finish.
What was the finish? I almost
Basically,
I almost completely forgot about this fucking match.
An aerial bullhammer, like from an Irish
Oh
whip.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Like,
it looked pretty cool.
yeah, they're kind of like showing how it's not the move; it's his elbow.
Right.
It might as well be the Bionic Elbow Mark II.
Right.
Because once he fucking turns that elbow pad inside out and it goes red, code red, the code red elbow.
Code red.
The second that elbow makes contact with your face, you're out. So, yeah, I kind of like that. I'm kind of hoping that he invents new ways of hitting people with that elbow. Like, I think it'd be nice if he had like a bullhammer elbow drop, where he does an elbow drop except it targets your head instead of the chest.
Right.
I'd kind of like that. It would give him something to do from the top rope, and you can never have too many top rope guys.
Even a counter from someone jumping at him too. That'd be cool.
Oh God, could you imagine fucking him and Cesaro forming a tag team? Like,
Cesaro
throws him up, and then they do a dual fucking European elbow, except with the bullhammer too. It's just fucking.
Man, that would actually be pretty hype.
Yeah. That'd be nice. Like fucking. What would they even call that? I don't know, but that is cool. I could see that. So
yeah,
Wade Barrett won. He retained, and fucking Big E. I couldn't even remember his name at first. Big E, wasn't happy.
It was funny. Did you see the conference, like the fallout?
Of course I did. Yeah.
That was funny as hell when the way Big E was like, "Well, the match went down like this," such and such. Yeah. He was pissed off, but he was animated.
That was interesting.
Yeah.
If he talked more like that, he would be more popular, I think.
He did that when he was first around AJ, but then he stopped doing it for a while, and he was just a quiet, tough guy.
Yeah. We've got enough quiet, tough guys, dude. Like, let him show us his sense of humor. Like,
yeah, his sense of humor would definitely bring his character out.
Because I want to like Big E. I know he's not just another big guy, It's kind of like that thing with Rusev, It's like he's got potential, but I need to see it. I need to see some of that, or else he's just gonna fucking be another generic big dude, and I don't want to see just another generic big dude.
Yeah, for all we know, Rusev could be good at Bulgarian rapping or some shit. I don't know.
Oh God, Bulgarian rapper Rusev.
He's gonna have another funny gimmick like Brodus Clay. Make him serious first,
maybe,
and then make him dance, and then make him serious again.
Eventually, he's gonna end up getting squashed by John Cena, and then he's gonna have to go into a shitty mid card gimmick.
Oh, like Tensai.
Like Tensai, like the Great Khali. Like, I guess you could say Big Show, but we all know what Big Show's here for nowadays.
Yeah. He does what's required of him, or asked of him.
Speaking of John Cena, his match.
Yeah.
Shitty
A lot.
match. It wasn't a good match, but
It felt really supernatural just because it really played to mind
well,
games and that kind of
the
thing.
finish was great.
Yeah.
So, some people like it. It was very similar to what I wanted to happen. Like if you remember what I was saying, I wanted the finish to be.
Yeah.
Like the way I wanted the finish to be was like the only problem with the way I wanted it is that it pretty much required the crowd to boo Cena, and even though it's a safe bet that you're gonna get a lot of boos with John Cena getting ready to
Right.
win, but people still cheer for him, so it's not guaranteed whether or not he's going to get a negative or positive reaction when he's getting ready to win.
Uh huh.
But other than that, they had the kid come out there with the fucked up voice. I think the fucked up voice could have been better off not there. But the point was, yeah, like I was kind of fucked up, but it made him. It freaked out John Cena. It prevented him from getting out the door, so he took his sister Abigail, and Bray Wyatt just walked out. So
Uh-huh.
it was pretty close to what I wanted. Cena was about to win. Um, he got distracted by what he considers a betrayal, and when children betray John Cena,
That's like the ultimate
right?
betrayal.
The thing that I really didn't like about the match, and I knew it wasn't going to be that good of a match because it's John Cena,
Right.
and I know he can have good matches, but he really needs somebody who's not Bray Wyatt. Like Bray Wyatt, I know he's good too, but Bray Wyatt and John Cena, they don't really mesh the same way. Like they tell a pretty good story, but it's not really exciting. But other than that,
It's a good versus evil tale.
yeah, other than that, I think the biggest weakness of the match was the fact that it made the Wyatt family look a little weak, I think. Because,
They had him hanging on a cage and stuff.
well, the only reason why John Cena didn't win the match, if we're speaking kayfabe wise here, is because every single time he tried, the other two Wyatts got involved, and
Yeah.
this happened over and over and over and over again. It didn't just happen at one key moment, like that turned the tide of battle. No, it was like every single fucking time. And eventually we got Luke Harper into the ring and he got laid out by John Cena. And, Eric Rowan climbed the cage and he was draped over the cage and he got knocked out by John Cena. So John Cena, like, if it weren't for that fucking kid, not only would he have won the match, but he would have destroyed the entire Wyatt family in the fucking match.
Just him with no interference,
Just
like
him.
anyone to help.
Just
Yeah.
him. Like he single-handedly knocked out every member of the Wyatt family, and the only reason why he wasn't able to win is because a little ass kid started singing to him,
Uh huh.
and that's all kayfabe wise. Like like I said, the kid thing was brilliant, but there's no reason to have him literally beat the fuck out of the entirety of the Wyatt family like that.
Yeah, and then they got in the ring too. That's the tripped out thing about it.
Yeah, like they like the whole point of a cage match is to like eliminate the possibility of an interference, but they keep wanting to give interferences all over the place. But
Uh huh.
yeah, so the finish I thought was good. Everything else about the match I thought was pretty shitty.
That's pretty funny though.
Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, we kind of touched on Shield and Evolution
Yeah, we
earlier.
already talked about that.
Oh,
The
yeah.
only match we're missing, I think, is the main event.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we kind of, yeah, I guess we can review that. But yeah, I think Shield versus Evolution was my favorite. Just kind of like it did feel like an Attitude Era match, and there was action all over the place,
Yeah.
and everyone showed their skills. It wasn't a steamroll like WrestleMania. I'm glad that didn't happen.
Right, right. Now,
Yeah.
the thing about the main event, Daniel Bryan versus Kane, Extreme Rules, is that it also felt like an Attitude Era match.
Yes.
Because we got brawling backstage for a good period of time. Like, you don't really
Uh-huh.
see that a lot anymore. Normally, if the if the match starts in the ring,
Mhm.
when they go backstage, you don't really see them cut the cameras backstage and start beating on each other anymore. You see that all the time back in the Attitude Era,
Right.
especially during hardcore matches, like mostly during hardcore matches. And the Extreme Rules match is what the hardcore match used to be, so that was definitely, a good call. Plus, it was especially good for me because I got to see a Ford Taurus get fucked up.
Uh
And fuck Ford Tauruses.
huh.
I have a Ford Taurus, and that thing hasn't been running. I've had that fucking thing for 3 years now, and it's probably I've probably driven it for 3 months total. So yeah, fuck Ford Tauruses. So when I saw that was the car that was getting fucked up by like fucking everything, fucking we had Daniel Bryan getting slammed down the hood, Kane
Uh
through like I think it was a fire extinguisher or something through the windshield. I was like, yeah, get that motherfucker.
huh.
So we had Daniel Bryan knock Kane out with what was it, a tire iron or something,
Uh huh.
and it's not a hardcore match, so you can't pin him in the back. So you have to, so you had to drag him into the ring, but he couldn't do that. So he puts the motherfucker onto a forklift and drives him into the ring. And not only
Uh huh.
that, he drives him into the ring, um, lifts the forklift up as high as it can go, dumps Kane off, climbs up on top of the forklift, and gives the diving headbutt. I thought that was a really cool moment.
That was a smart way to use that. Yeah.
I was kind of hoping that he wouldn't get off the forklift, like he'd raise it up, climb up, and then like they do like a suplex spot off of it or something. But
Uh huh.
I definitely like the moment that they did. Like him using the diving headbutt off the forklift. That was pretty nice, especially because the
Mhm.
forklift was stable, so he actually was able to
Yeah.
leap off of it.
Right.
Normally, when you see guys come off of things like ladders, they normally just fall off of it because they don't want to kick the ladder out from underneath their feet or anything.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, pretty much. Um, During that match, there was a bunch of stuff going on. You had the flaming table spot,
Mhm.
which I didn't think I'd see in the WWE fucking ever again.
Again,
Yeah,
right after Foley and Edge,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So that was a surprise. Like the second he went through it, fucking you had two guys start pelting him with fucking a fire extinguisher. I think the fire extinguishers did more damage to Kane than the actual table spot because he, he was up running around. He's like, "Oh my god, fuck!" And then he got hit with the knee, and then that was the pin.
It made him run all the way in the ring. It's
Yeah.
funny.
As far as the setup goes, that was awesome because it was a table spot. He got pelted with the fire extinguishers, so he runs into the ring in his confusion and then gets hit by a finisher. I think that was
Uh-huh.
awesome because the table spot wasn't a spot in itself. It was a setup to the finish, which flowed pretty seamlessly, all things considered. It was the best way that we could have imagined a fire spot in 2014.
Right.
The only other thing of note, really, as far as spots in this match, was when Daniel Bryan had Kane in the yes lock, and then Kane starts trying to grab for the ropes. Then he notices a kendo stick is sitting right there, so like Kane starts hitting him with the kendo stick. So then Daniel Bryan grabs the kendo stick from him, and then like uses it with the yes lock. Fucking, that was good.
Yeah. You know what that just reminded me of? How like Kane was trying to get out of the yes lock, kind of like in Wyatt and Cena match when he had him in the STF and he was using the rope
Yeah,
to break the hold. That was clever.
yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because I think it was in the cage match when they mentioned this. That's he was like, if he gets to the ropes, it doesn't matter because it's a cage match, But that's not true. Like, there's been plenty of cage matches in WWE where if you get to the ropes, you got to break a submission. So it's pretty much, whenever the WWE feels like it.
Right.
I'm just glad they didn't do that like in the same match, because then that would have been stupid. Have a rope break in the match, but then say, "Oh no, he can't break the hold at the cage match," and like later,
Uh-huh. That's true. That's true.
So yeah, that was Extreme Rules. Overall, pretty good pay per view. It was definitely surpassed my expectations. So it was all right. Now I guess we should like go over the finer points of Raw. We don't gotta go over everything, but
Let's see. Where should we start? I guess we might as well start. I don't know. What do you think about Adam Rose's debut? Do you think it was kind of man? He didn't get to do as well as he wanted.
I think the debut was pretty weak. But
Yeah.
on the episode of Main Event,
Yeah, when he came out and had Dolph doing it.
yeah,
And yeah,
was
yeah.
like he was like, Dolph, do you know what you get for being a rosebud? Everything, get in, and then fucking he's just
Well,
like, all right, and then he just starts fucking dancing with everybody. JTG
Right.
is in there.
Yeah. Oh, also that's him in the graduation thing.
Yeah, it's JTG.
Oh, okay, that is JTG. I was like, okay, this guy looks familiar. He
Still
still has a
employed.
job.
Yeah, still employed.
He's a
I
graduate, so that
really,
makes
really
sense.
wish I could be JTG right now. Like, not only would I be getting a bunch of money for fucking being employed by WWE, now all I'd have to do is dance around in a graduation cap to, like, music that's pretty sweet. And I'd be black, so I'd get to have a big-ass penis. It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
What's funny, there was like there's a handful of people in WWE who you don't really see, but they're still employed. They
Yep.
must have really did something like save Vince McMahon or something from choking on food, or
Yeah.
I don't know, like
I mean, JTG was a part of Crime Time, so I could see like a scenario where like Vince McMahon ended up being stranded in the hood and like had no way of like getting back, and he was all terrified because there was a bunch of gangbangers around. Then JTG showed up and he was like, "Don't worry, Vince, I got this," and started speaking to him, and they're like, "Oh yeah, man, cool." And then they all went
motivational speaking.
away. Right? And then Vince was like, "By God, that was amazing. What did you tell him?" He was like, "Oh, I just told him, this is my grandfather. I married a white bitch." And they were like, "Oh, sweet." And then, they left.
Wow, you got good people skills. Yeah.
But instead of
Being
giving
his
him the world championship, they just pay him for doing nothing.
Right.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you, man, if we see JTG World Heavyweight Champion in 3 years, I will be surprised. Surprised is
That'd
an
be
understatement. I don't think that'll ever happen.
the reboot.
Right.
What would be the gimmick? Yeah.
And like he'll just call himself Crime Time. It's not even a tag team anymore. It's just him.
Crap time. Let's see.
I mean, what a way to reintroduce JTG though, than like have Adam Rose be out there, with his party, and then all of a sudden, fucking one of the members of his party just fucking decks him, and it's like, oh my God, JTG's back.
Right.
And then he starts feuding with Adam Rose.
He was hiding in the open the whole time.
It's like, I'm done partying with you. I'm sick and tired of not being able to do cocaine at your little ass parties. How am I supposed to get high off of a sucker?
I'm a sucker. It's supposed to be sugar high. Don't be a lemon.
Don't be a lemon. Oh man.
Yeah, Rosebud. But yeah,
Adam Rose feuding with a gangster would be amazing.
Hey. I do agree though. Like the main event promo was better. He even went on the announce table, scared the hell out of Zach Coulter and everything.
Fucking JTG's mocking like catchphrase could be, "It's crime time all the time."
He always beats up somebody and jumps them like the hardcore title.
That's fantasy booking at its finest. Other than that, just real quick, we had another title defense. Big E got his rematch. He lost.
Right. Yeah.
We had... Oh, yeah. Dean Ambrose finally lost his United States Championship. He lost
that big battle royal. Yeah.
Yep, he made it to the final two, but then got eliminated by Sheamus.
It's a shame.
Right. But even though it wasn't a full year, it was a full pay-per-view cycle. Because he won that title at Extreme Rules last year.
Uh-huh.
So he still had it after Extreme Rules this year. He lost it the next night.
Yeah. That just reminded me right quick. Don't hold your thought right quick. You know how in the interview when the Shield was saying it kind of just seems like Extreme Rules is still pay per view,
Yeah,
like that wasn't the intention, but
yeah,
yeah, that's what that just reminded me of
right.
when you mentioned Extreme
Dude,
Rules.
that little promo was fucking like hilarious. Because at one point, you know, one guy asked a question like, "Do you think are you scared of evolution or something like that?" Whatever the question was,
Right,
and then
right.
like after about like 5 seconds of silence, Roman Reigns just like he leans in really slowly. He's like, "No," and then that wasn't the best part. Looking at Dean Ambrose's reaction to that
Yeah, yeah.
was fucking priceless. Like that made me go, yes, this is the group. They need to be together for a long time.
They're the other group that can break kayfabe and still look good doing
Right. Like fucking
it.
it's that's fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I know we touched on it a little bit earlier, and it kind of goes into a little theory I have on what they might be getting
Mm,
ready to do here.
mm,
It's looking like we're going to be getting 3 rematches at Payback. We're going to see Daniel Bryan versus Kane again, probably in another stipulation match.
right. Chicago Street Fight.
We're gonna
Uh-huh.
see. We're probably gonna see Bray Wyatt and John Cena again,
Uh-huh.
and like all that's
And
fine and good, but we might be seeing the Shield versus Evolution again. The problem with
I'm
that though,
sure.
is supposedly this week's episode of Raw was Batista's last night for a while. So
Mm,
what I'm thinking is they might have, at least temporarily, they might have Sheamus join Evolution. They might have him
hmm.
go heel and join Evolution. Like all the things to make that like possible are there. You know, you have Sheamus winning the United States title. You have so obviously him and Ambrose are probably going to have some kind of altercation. And I think it's supposed to happen on SmackDown. Well, actually, it already happened technically. I just never checked the spoilers, so I could be way off base. But
Hmm.
obviously, Sheamus is. I mean, Dean Ambrose is entitled to a rematch. He's got his rematch clause, and I don't know if that's who Sheamus defended his title against on SmackDown or not. But what I'm thinking that the way to set it up is, during their match, obviously you're going to have Sheamus win, but you don't really want to have it be a clean victory over Dean Ambrose because Dean Ambrose, he's kind of bigger than the belt at this point.
Right.
Um, so you don't want him to lose to that to Sheamus as a mid card champion, and then have him go on in main events. Like not necessarily. So what I'm thinking is that the remainder of Evolution comes out and helps Sheamus win. And
Hmm.
if you remember, Sheamus is actually one of Triple H's workout buddies in real life.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that it's a very strong possibility because it wouldn't be completely out of left field. It wouldn't be like, say, I don't know, fucking shot in the dark. There's so many people.
Like a Big E joint evolution or some
Right,
shit.
or fucking Cesaro randomly being an evolution, or Rob Van Dam. Well, that'd be fucking weird if RVD was an evolution.
Dude, I get to wear a suit.
Right, he's like, dude, man, I get to smoke weed and not get fucking reprimanded for it. This is awesome. Fucking his suit would be like green. It's like
Wow.
420. That's his real initials. But yeah,
Yeah.
I could totally see that happening. Like have Evolution 2.0 featuring Sheamus replacing Batista versus the Shield at Payback. That's a possibility.
That's yeah. I guess that's not too crazy of an idea. I guess that would work. I'm guessing too that if you're gonna put Sheamus in a heel role again, he would have to do something like that
Right.
instead of because his gimmick is I love to fight. So even if no matter who he beats up, people are still gonna like him.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I guess if you have him in that type of position,
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
I guess we'll see then, huh?
So let's see. Okay, John Cena and Bray Wyatt. Um, if they're going to have another match, if they're going to actually have Bray Wyatt win this feud, then it's going to have to be in the match that John Cena never loses,
Mm-hmm.
the I Quit match.
Oh, like if he actually quits,
John
you know.
Cena always says never give up.
Oh.
Technically,
Mm-hmm.
technically,
Mm-hmm.
the I Quit match is John Cena's signature match because he's never lost one because he's never said I quit.
Damn.
And other than those times where he fought Kurt Angle, I think it was twice that he's tapped out. Other than that, he's never tapped out.
Now you actually bring up an excellent point that plays into what he believes in,
Yeah.
since the rivalry is kind of built around
Yep,
beliefs.
it's built
Yeah.
around the psychological aspect of
Yeah.
the psychological monster Bray Wyatt. If John Cena were to say I quit, it doesn't matter how many Wyatts you have involved in this. Like it really does not matter because the against all odds John Cena I quit match, you could have all three of them beat the fuck out of him for an hour. But if you get him to say I quit, Bray Wyatt has won that war.
Yeah, and they can actually play off of it, especially after that main event promo when he was speaking out about how he lives up to the never give up,
Yeah.
showing the towel and everything like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, fucking John Cena on main event, holy shit.
Right, yeah, main
like
event is like really main event now
they
because it's on the network.
they're making main event like a main like a big deal, like and it works,
Yeah.
it works for me too because like I'm not really excited about watching things on stream too much, but
Right.
I'm always like watching for new releases, like new wrestling episodes on the WWE network. So I watch like
Yeah.
every episode of NXT that I can, like main event I'm watching now every week.
Yeah, it almost seems like main event is like the fourth hour of Raw.
I
Like
wouldn't say
the
fourth hour, but you know,
Well, the reason why I say this is because it's like it can be something major that didn't get a chance to be done on Raw, like when Undertaker speaks out
right.
or
Yeah.
something before WrestleMania, that type of
Oh,
thing.
speaking of main event, by the way, I finally got a chance to see the Wyatt family versus the Shield Part 3 on
Yeah,
that episode of main event. I didn't watch that before,
yeah,
and that was a while ago. It was like a month or two ago, and
yeah.
this shows how often they have him do it on the main shows. Dean Ambrose finisher has a fucking name now.
Uh
Like
huh.
I didn't know that. I thought they just called it the Headlock Driver because that's what it was. I thought Headlock Driver was a cool name
Right.
because anytime you say driver in a name, it just fucking feels like yeah, okay, so that hurts. But he calls it Dirty Deeds, and that's cool because it's obviously an AC/DC reference.
Uh huh.
But now if you add what it actually is in there, if it were like the Dirty Deeds takedown,
Uh huh.
you know what that would make it?
What?
DDT.
Uh.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Okay. Okay.
And it more or less, that's exactly what it is too. It's a reverse DDT. But
nice.
it
Nice way to look at
it
that.
kind of makes him like the mirror to Jake the Snake in that aspect.
Uh huh.
Okay, so other than that, what else? Okay, we got.
Well.
I really would rather not spend too much time on Brie Bella's terrible acting.
Oh my God, she did not know how to scream. But I think Stephanie has the award for being a troll of the year. Like she keeps like a voice like she's actually worried. But
Right,
it was funny when she hit the window really hard. Oops, sorry, it must be the hand.
right. So
Yeah, but Stephanie is funny.
yeah, fucking. See, I know they're married and everything, and you wanna try and get heat as much as possible, but get Brie Bella out of this fucking storyline. Like
Yeah.
it's like the Authority are trying as hard as they can to sabotage Bryan's title reign, but it really feels like the WWE's trying as hard as they can to sabotage Bryan's title reign. they put him in a feud with fucking Kane right off the bat, which
Uh-huh.
is kind of a heat killer already because nobody thinks that
No pun
there's
intended.
any chance of Kane winning. And if he does, fucking more power to him. But there's no fucking chance Kane is gonna be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, like how many times would he be someone's first opponent?
Right. So it's like it's very draining because it's like, okay, our odyssey is over. Our guy finally got the belts. Now you're putting him in there with fucking Kane, and the matches are not super exciting. They did their best at Extreme Rules, and that was as awesome as they could make it. That match surprised the fuck out of me, I'll be honest. But how many
Uh-huh.
times are you going to get Kane in a good match like that?
Uh-huh.
It's not going to happen every time. You wanted to start fucking Bryan off good, like,
Right.
you know, Randy Orton still is owed his title shot back, and that's fine and good.
Yeah, that
But
still needs to happen.
in order to make it feel like it's truly a new era, we need to see shit like fucking Bryan versus Cesaro, shit like that. Like, I would love that to be a main event. Like, if Punk ever fucking comes back, Bryan versus Punk, even with Punk losing, would be a great fucking main event for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Right?
Fucking even Bryan versus RVD would probably be good because he's RVD and he may be older and he may be slower than he used to be, but he still goes out there and tries as hard as he fucking can, and especially more than he did in TNA.
Oh, yeah, TNA was paying him like WCW paid NWO
Yeah,
probably.
he was just there to collect a quick paycheck.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like fucking
But not that'd be
anybody.
cool, like caliber stars. But the WWE business model is you need to be a main eventer. It's not just like, okay, this guy might have potential to randomly be put in a main event match at any given night
Yeah.
for the title on the line.
I mean, I understand that, but if we're
Yeah,
if we're feeding people to Bryan, it might
yeah,
as well be people that he's going to have ridiculous matches with.
right.
Cesaro would be that guy. Like, oh my god, I want to see Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro in a main event for that title, with Bryan winning, obviously, because Cesaro's not exactly, ready for that yet. But
Right.
fucking, that would be awesome. That would be a good match. It would be a match everyone wants to see. Like, give him fucking 35 minutes. I don't give a fuck.
It's actually an interesting topic because when you think of it like this, it's like you see both sides. How, like I said, how WWE does it. They want to build the star and put him in a main event. They don't just want him to be, he may be good already, but now put him against the champion and they'll put on a match. But that's something you'll probably see in TNA.
I mean, no,
You know,
that's something you'll see.
'cause-
That's something you see in
yeah.
WWE too. Honestly, like,
Well, I mean, like on occasion sometimes,
like
but
when CM Punk was having his title reign, he had, what was it, 3 separate matches with Daniel Bryan for the title.
right.
And it was great. They were good matches. One of them was a triple threat with Kane and shit. But I mean,
Yeah.
they obviously, who thought Daniel Bryan was going to win?
Right.
Like, no one.
Right. I mean, here's another point. I'm pretty sure if Cesaro, even though Cesaro is, building up his WWE career, I'm pretty sure he can put on a great match against Bryan, even if the belt was on the line.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's my point. It's interesting how you think about it that way. Yeah. Let's see. But yeah, I mean, all the other storylines. We didn't mention a triple power bomb. Well, I guess the main event was Evolution versus. I mean, not Evolution. Wyatt versus Shield for.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
How
And,
was that, by the way? Because I got to watch Raw through a stream and I can't fucking see shit.
it was actually a pretty good match. Like, it shows that they kind of have better in-ring chemistry as they fight more.
Oh yeah,
They
definitely.
both sides bring their strengths to the table, and then of course Evolution came out. The match got thrown out. Well, not thrown out, but the Shield lost. They mocked the Shield's power bomb. They had Batista do the power bomb, and Randy and Triple H did the part. They did the triple power bomb
Oh
basically.
really? Oh, that's
Yeah, and
cool.
Batista did the power bomb part.
That's
Yeah,
that's
so
cool.
And then now Batista's going around saying, "Evolution, justice, deal with it."
God,
Now deal with it is even more special
right.
because he can go.
Fucking,
No.
fucking Batista took an internet meme and just fucking went with it. And like it helps that he's always got a pair of sunglasses on too, so he's deal with it. And he's got the shades already on. Yeah, I would have liked to see that. The only thing that aggravates me is that they're keeping the Shield around a little bit longer as a unit, and the Wyatts are going to be a unit for probably for the foreseeable future.
Hmm.
They keep giving away those matches on Raw and fucking just free TV, and it's not that they're not good matches, but TV is usually meant to build something.
Right, yeah, and you keep getting the
Like,
biggest match of both teams on the same show
yeah, like
consistently.
the Elimination Chamber match they had together was great,
It was amazing. Yes.
but the only reason why everybody like kind of accepted it was because we figured that was probably going to be the last time they ever had that match because we expected the Shield to be breaking up,
Right.
and they gave it to us on Raw the next night. I think was it the next night or like a week later?
It was the next night, and
And
I don't remember that one being as good.
well, I mean, because it was a Raw match.
Right.
And everyone was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, cool, we get to see this again." The Shield's breaking up, so that's fine. But now that they're fucking keeping the Shield back together, and they're clearly the babyface team, they're just giving away this match that has the potential to be great. That could like fucking easily main event a pay per view, and they're just giving it to us to do nothing but build towards nothing. At least this time they had interference to build towards Evolution and the Shield more. But
Right.
like now that we have Shield for a little bit more, I would love to see a continuation of that feud, like an actual fucking full-on feud between the two, maybe culminating in matches that aren't just normal tag matches.
I guess it's happening so much more now because it's every blue moon or rare occurrence when you see like factions of three men always fight against each other.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it used to work back in the good old days where you'd have factions feuding, like three-man groups feuding for like years,
Right.
and fucking I think no matter like they could fucking want to do this again at SummerSlam, and if they actually
Hmm.
built it as a feud, like people would still be hyped to see that. Like people are not. It's going to be a while before people get enough of the Wyatts versus the Shield.
Uh, no, that's true.
Yeah.
I wonder if after everything happens, like after this whole evolution storyline, and if they're done fighting against the Shield, are they gonna start competing amongst themselves? Kind of like what we was talking about before, just like friendly, competition, that type of thing.
Maybe I don't know.
Because they're only gonna get better. It's not like,
Yeah, like those three
yeah,
guys. Yeah, they're the only one that can improve a lot is Roman Reigns, but
yeah,
all of them, there's never you're never perfect. You're never at the top of your game. You could always get better. So if these
right.
guys kept getting better, it would just be amazing. You know,
Hmm.
I
One,
would be perfectly fine with the future being in the hands of those three guys.
it was funny. One of my friends was telling me that he wonders if Seth Rollins is kind of what WWE really would have wanted out of Jeff Hardy, because he's kind of like he kind of fills that void right
Yeah.
now
Oh,
of Jeff Hardy.
he could
Yeah,
definitely be like the newer Jeff Hardy. The thing is though, he
yeah,
wears normal wrestling gear like when he's a singles guy. So like, one of the things that makes Jeff Hardy special is not just his style, even though that's a big part of it, but it's also his attire. Like he's like completely different from everyone else because he looks like he's a guy that fucking came in right off the streets.
right. Yeah, like the Shield.
Yeah, they look like they came in from the police academy.
They go through the crowd. That's like the coolest thing.
Right. All right. So it's probably about time to cut it.
I have a diva of the week of my
Oh, you got a
choice.
diva this time. All right, what's up?
Okay, so actually been really digging her a lot more, and I like her sassiness. It fits her character. I'm gonna go with Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks. God.
Yeah. I don't know. I
I
like her. She's cool.
I guess we'll put your girlfriend in the diva of the week. I don't like Sasha like at all right now.
I think she can grow. Like,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
she's obviously
yeah,
gonna grow,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, I guess people could say that she's doing her job because she's a heel, but I don't really see anything in her right now. I just kind of see somebody that might be black, but I can't tell. That's pretty much what I look at when I see Sasha Banks.
Yep.
What,
I see what you're
what
saying.
was her finishing move? I just watched NXT and I think she hit it, but
It's
I can't.
called Bankrupt.
Bankrupt.
She didn't win that way against Bailey though. She did like what's the name?
Was it a roll up?
No, no, no. It was a backstabber into a crossface. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
she did a combo. She did a combo.
I don't think that's a crossface. It definitely was.
But
It definitely wasn't the
or
crossface
she
that we're
did.
used to seeing. But
Uh huh.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know what
not
it's
like the
called.
yes
But
lock or the cripper.
right, it was a submission hold. It was a
It was
lot.
a
It was a lot
submission
better. It
hold,
was a lot better than the camel clutch.
the chin lock.
Right, the fucking camel clutch. You turn a rest
Yeah,
hold into a submission hold. There you go. Awesome.
yeah. So I
Fucking
guess Boston, that's where her character's from, I guess.
really, Boston.
Yeah.
Then her finishing move should be the Boston Crab. She could call it. She could call it. She
Oh,
could call it Boston
I,
Crabs.
oh God.
And her gimmick would be that she sleeps with all the guys and everyone starts itching and stuff.
Bankrupt.
Bankrupt. Fucking
Oh God.
isn't Bailey's finishing move called the Bailey to Belly?
Yeah,
That's
it's
silly.
funny. It's so funny. Like a move that you see as a signature move will be
Right.
a finishing move in the Divas division.
I mean, what wasn't that Ken Shamrock's finishing move outside of his ankle lock? Was just
Possibly.
a normal belly to belly, like not over the head or anything, just a belly to belly.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's a high impact move, so that's fine, I guess. Like,
Right.
it doesn't piss me off as much as a DDT being a finishing move for some reason.
Girl,
Like,
bye.
yeah, it's like when Jake the Snake does it as a finishing move, that's fine. Raven gets away with it, maybe just because he was around longer than I was, but it just pisses me right the fuck off when you see a diva do it. It's like, yeah, it's just a normal DDT, and I've called it girl bye.
Why do I see Adam Rose being able to do that? Like he does it, girl by DDT with his gimmick and everything.
This is my ex-girlfriend, and this is my current ex-girlfriend.
Goodbye.
What even is his finishing move? Does he have one?
It's like I'm trying to remember. I think it was when he goes on the top rope and it's like either an elbow drop or a fist drop. I can't remember, but I've seen him do a top rope
If
move.
it's not called like the rosebud or like turning lemons into lemonade, like something like that, like the lemonation, just elimination.
Eliminate. Ah!
So just something referencing his gimmick would be nice. I don't.
That's good. Let me see. Right quick. Let me. Dang. They don't have it listed. I was trying to do a quick slight. No, it's not it.
Is that his Wikipedia page?
Yeah, I was trying to find it, but I don't know. I'm not gonna look too much into
It's
it.
the end of the show. We can't be looking up stuff now.
Yeah, I'll just throw in at the end. Adrian Neville retain against Brodus Clay.
Oh, who expected that?
Oh
I
my
was
God,
so
yeah.
surprised.
He
You mean
he
to
beat a
tell
main
me Adrian Neville defeated Brodus Clay
he defeated a main eventer though. Come on, man.
after he broke his teeth off?
He defeated a main eventer.
Fucking main eventer. He's not even on main event. He's on NXT now. They sent
That's
him to
sad.
NXT. He's so not the main event that he's in NXT.
I'm gonna be the bully of NXT. The gate. He's gonna be the gatekeeper of NXT.
And
Probably.
now that's Adrian Neville defeated him, he won't even be in the main event on NXT anymore.
How do you mid card NXT? What the hell?
Fucking NXT, where the only mid carder is Brodus Clay.
That's cool. Yeah, I guess on that point we should wrap things up.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching MAWS Talks Wrestling. We have been your hosts. I am LunaKage.
And I am Glenburg.
Thank you for watching.
Good night and peace.